Inspired by Planet Weird series Hellier, I created a half-scale replica of an abandoned train tunnel. So just what is behind this miniature build? Appalachia. It has a way of drawing the curious into its mysterious realm. The landscape's beauty overshadows tales of strange occurrences, with many involving mine, cave, and tunnel entrances. It is here that our long-abandoned tunnel sits quietly in a pocket of forgotten time, and it is here that our story begins. It all started in 2012, when Greg Newkirk received an odd email. A man claimed he and his family were frequently being harassed by goblin-like creatures around his home and near mines on his property in rural Hellier, Kentucky. Greg requested more information, and after a few more messages, the man vanished, never to reply again. With no more info to go on, the case was shelved for years. In 2016, many synchronicities led filmmaker and researcher Karl Pfeiffer to reach out to Greg, igniting the spark that reopened the case. With that, a team was assembled, and they headed to Kentucky to document their findings regarding the man behind the email and more bizarre claims in Appalachia involving mines, caves, and tunnels. That is what brings us here today. The Appalachians are comprised of ancient mountain ranges that were separated as the continents shifted. Included are the Scottish Highlands, a place where the good folk, or the little people, were said to call their homes. These merged lands would strongly suggest they never left, and there may be more here than just the aforementioned beings. Blasting through a mountain to create a new pathway is both physical and metaphorical, contributing to the strange sensation of navigating the in-between. Some say anomalous activity is attracted to the liminal. Much like this process shown with XPS foam, the stone is ripped apart, permanently rearranging the landscape. Destruction was a necessary evil to facilitate movement over extremely rough terrain. However, the land and its unseen guardians refuse to let that evil go unnoticed, and perhaps unpunished. This area is rich in its history, legends, and folklore, with many strikingly similar accounts. Most commonly reported are whistling, disembodied voices, and Tommyknockers, stories absorbed into the bloodlines of generations. But notably, small childlike figures with characteristics akin to the Kelly Hopkinsville goblins have been reported, though witnesses have often given them a variety of different names through the years. Over time, these inherited tales shaped the fears and habits of working folk, communities, and even visitors. Superstitions became woven into the fabric of everyday life. However, tunneling and mining operations required workers to push those aside to financially support themselves and their families. During the team's visit to Hellier, a local man gave the crew directions to this hidden subterranean site. Images of the tunnel's interior reveal that both left and right sides bear subtle differences in appearance, suggesting that extra bracing was required after its initial construction. It's likely the structure evolved over time, adapting to withstand shifting weight and geological strain. Here, missing and misaligned elements were incorporated on a miniature scale based on what's visible. The tiny timbers were sanded down, stained, and secured to the main box structure. These days, this old skeleton stands in silence, listening for the occasional visitor. Enticing, but not exactly inviting. These bare bones remain as a testament to the precision and resilience of a bygone era. Once a bustling industrial railway, the remnants of track were either removed or are long buried under tons of fallen rocks and beams. I chose to leave the rails to the imagination. Dangerous debris is everywhere, as the tunnel is no longer safe for operation. Here, pieces of discarded craft materials were upcycled into something entirely new, while honoring a representation of something old. Burrowing into the lore, the crew sought answers by conducting experiments in this decaying dome. Meanwhile, only tens of feet away, a disheveled mound sat menacingly, watching in tense silence, rapidly becoming an area of interest and potentially harboring an unsettling presence. In acclimating to this man-made monstrosity, the investigators observed their environment. For them, ambient noises were familiar and easy to recognize, since they were no strangers to caverns and the like. However, they were unable to identify the source of loud bangs, shuffling, and whispers near or just beyond the towering mound. Though these tunnel walls have been altered by man, there is a sense of something more than just the physical reminders of pickaxe marks and hand-hewn timbers. Countless reinforced cavities puncture this beautiful landscape, continuing to hold their breath to prevent collapse. With this tunnel showing its age, there is a considerable amount of proof that this passage was well-traveled and well-worn. Additionally, the exterior rock face boasts foreboding, even sinister shapes, indiscriminately using the lights of high noons and full moons to their advantage. Many decades-old alterations are visible, as decaying boards and excavated rock are tightly packed into the gaping wounds of terra firma. Regardless, the Appalachians are breathtaking, showcasing varied, rich, and muted earth tones. But beyond the beauty and history, the focus of the mission was the investigation. The initial communication attempts in the heart of a dark, earthen passage yielded very interesting results, yet no definitive answers. The investigation was well-rounded, well thought out, and employed a variety of methods, taking into consideration any relevant mythology and folklore. Were the emails just a hoax, or perhaps a lure? What did it all mean? Dana's vintage hoi polloi tarot deck played a role, tapping into the area's subconscious, as divination can play an integral part in paranormal research. In addition, the Gansfeld experiment and the Estes method were used to gain more insight. So who, or what exactly, was behind the cryptic messages? Was it paranormal, ultra-terrestrial, extraterrestrial? Even so, something felt off, and it definitely felt like they were not alone. Many questions still hang heavy in the air, blanketing these old hills and valleys. The superstitions and hushed warnings continue today, retaining their original potency and impact, and despite the plethora of tales old and new, the stories seem to be just as elusive and concealed as any creatures cloaked in the crevices. Season 3 of Hellier is highly anticipated as the mysteries continue to unfold. This diorama was just a symptom. Remember, high strangeness is elusive. Look around, lead others in efforts to research the phenomena. Thank you for watching.